Hello and welcome to K News. This is Hardik Trivedi. Let's have a look what is happening in India and in the world. The first astronauts launched by SpaceX company departed the International Space Station on Saturday night for the final and most important part of their test flight, returning to Earth while a rare splashdown. NASA's Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken bid farewell to the three men left behind as their SpaceX Dragon capsule undocked and headed towards a Sunday afternoon descent by parachute into the Gulf of Mexico. Despite tropical storm Isaias surged toward Florida's Atlantic shore, NASA said the weather looked favorable off the coast of Pensacola on the extreme opposite side of the state. It will be the first splashdown of astronauts in 45 years. The last time was following the joint US-Soviet mission in 1975, known as Apollo-Soyuz. It has been a great 2 months, and we appreciate all you have done as a crew to help us prove out Dragon on its maiden flight. Hurley radioed to the space station. The flag, which also flew on the first shuttle flight in 1981, became a prize for the company that launched astronauts first. China has condemned Germany's decision to suspend its extradition agreement with Hong Kong, accusing Berlin of a serious breach of international law. Germany's foreign minister announced the suspension on Friday following the disqualification of 12 pro-democracy candidates from legislative elections and a subsequent decision to postpone the elections. Hong Kong leader Carrie Lam cited a worsening coronavirus outbreak in the semi-autonomous Chinese territory in postponing the vote. The Chinese embassy in Berlin expressed strong indignation and firm opposition to the wrong remarks of German Foreign Minister Heiko Maas in a statement posted on its website and dated Friday. Australia, Canada, New Zealand, UK and the US also have suspended their extradition treaties with Hong Kong last month after the central government in Beijing imposed a new national security law on the city. The move raised fears that Hong Kong's freedoms and local autonomy are being taken away. Germany's Maas described the election decisions as a further infringement of the rights of Hong Kong's citizens. The Chinese embassy said the actions were justified and consistent with the one country, two systems framework, under which Hong Kong, a former British colony, was handed over to Chinese control in 1997. The German side's enormous remarks on Hong Kong and the suspension of the extradition treaty with Hong Kong are a serious breach of international law and basic norms governing international relations and gross violation of China's internal affairs, the embassy statement said. The United States on Saturday condemned the Hong Kong's administration move to postpone the Legislative Council elections and urged the government to reconsider that decision. Hong Kong Chief Executive Carrie Lam announced on Friday that the Legislative Council elections scheduled for September 6 will be postponed over the COVID-19 threat. US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo in a statement said that the elections should be held as close to September 6 as possible in a manner that reflects the will and aspirations of the people of Hong Kong. There is no valid reason for such a lengthy delay. It is likely, therefore, that Hong Kong will never again be able to vote for anything or anyone, Pompeo said in the statement published on the State Department website. Read, "We urge Hong Kong authorities to reconsider their decision. The elections should be held as close to September 6 as possible and in a manner that reflects the will and aspiration of the Hong Kong people. If they are not, then regrettably Hong Kong will continue its march towards becoming just another Chinese-run city in China, the statement added. The World Health Organization on Saturday warned the coronavirus pandemic was likely to be lengthy after its emergency committee met to evaluate the crisis, 6 months after sounding the international alarm. The committee highlighted the anticipated lengthy duration of this COVID-19 pandemic, the WHO said in a statement, and warned of the risk of response fatigue given the socio-economic pressures on countries. The panel gathered Friday for the fourth time over the coronavirus crisis, half a year on from its January 30 declaration of a public health emergency of international concern, the WHO's highest level of alarm. WHO continues to assess the global risk level of COVID-19 to be very high, said its latest statement. The committee highlighted the anticipated lengthy duration of this COVID-19 pandemic, noting the importance of sustained community, national, regional and global response efforts. The novel coronavirus has killed at least 680,000 people and infected at least 17.6 million since the outbreak emerged in China last December, according to a tally from official sources compiled by AFP. Unsurprisingly, the panel, comprising 18 members and 12 advisors, unanimously agreed that the pandemic still constituted a PHEIC. Nearly 8,000 residents of Riverside Country in Southern California were forced to evacuate their homes on Saturday as a wildfire spread uncontained across more than 4,000 acres, the country fire department said. The fire, dubbed the Apple Fire by local firefighters who routinely give blazes identifying names, was reported Friday in a Cherry Valley, a community about 75 miles east of Los Angeles, and had destroyed at least one family home as of Saturday evening. Photographs shared by the Riverside Country Fire Department on Twitter on Saturday showed thick plumes of smoke filling the sky over the mountainous region. Residents of 2,586 homes, totaling around 7,800 people, had been told to evacuate, the department said. The fire had grown from 700 acres on Friday evening to 4,000 acres by Saturday evening and was 0% contained, according to the country fire department and the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection. Tamil Nadu went on a total shutdown mode on Sunday, with the government imposing intense curbs as part of its anti-coronavirus measures, leaving main roads deserted while most shops bearing pharmacies remained closed. Roads were virtually empty with no vehicular movement plying on account of the strict implementation of the curbs, with police making it clear that private vehicles will be allowed only for emergency purposes. While announcing extension of the coronavirus-induced lockdown to August, Chief Minister K. Palaniswamy had said on July 30 that complete curbs will be in place on all 5 Sundays this month also. Much like in July, there will be no relaxations, he had said. Subsequently, all kinds of shops, including those selling vegetables and groceries, commercial establishments, hotels and restaurants downed shutters on Sunday, while the roads were deserted in the absence of major vehicular movement. In Chennai, police said no vehicle will be allowed to ply today except those meant for milk distribution, medical purpose, emergency and funeral cause. Private vehicles meant for medical emergency and those belonging to the print and electronic media were exempted from the curbs. A team of doctors led by AIIMS Director Dr. Randeep Guletia is likely to visit Mendata Hospital in Gurugram, where Union Home Minister Amit Shah has been admitted for COVID-19 treatment. Sources at AIIMS confirmed the team is likely to oversee Shah's line of treatment at the hospital and advise doctors there accordingly, sources added. Earlier in the day, Shah informed that he has tested positive for the coronavirus and has been advised by the doctors to be admitted to the hospital. Taking to Twitter, Shah said that he underwent coronavirus test after getting the initial symptoms of the virus. He also appealed to people who have come in contact with him in the last few days to isolate themselves and get tested. On getting the initial symptoms of corona, I got the test done and the report has come positive. My health is fine, but I am being admitted to the hospital on the advice of doctors. I request all of you who have come in contact with me in the last few days, please isolate yourself and get your test done, Shah tweeted. On Saturday, Shah addressed a webinar Lokmanya Tilak Swaraj to Atmanirbhar Bharat, organized by ICCR Delhi on the 100th death anniversary of Lokmanya Tilak. West Bengal has taken rupees 1022 crore transition loan from the centre to help its power distribution company tide over liquidity stress amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The loan is part of the central government's 90,000 crore Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan package to assist stressed distribution companies. The West Bengal State Electricity Distribution Company Limited has been facing financial woes with minuscule collections in April and May, resulting in over 2,000 crore shortfall, officials say. With a consumer base of about 2 crore, WBS EDCL caters to the entire state except Kolkata and a part of its adjoining districts. We have taken rupees 1022 crore loan to clear dues of various central and state entities, West Bengal Power Minister Shobhanadeb Chattopadhyay told. The centre had on May 13 decided to make an infusion of rupees 90,000 crore through Power Finance Corporation and Rural Electrification Corporation as part of the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Under this intervention, REC and PFC would extend special long-term transition loans up to 10 years. According to reports, the 10-year loan to the West Bengal government has a 3-year moratorium period and is repayable in 84 EMIs. It's time for a short break. We'll join you in a short while.
Dress up your Tundi fan with the cooler number one. Take a chase go more fun, unte cooler number one. Take a don't run from the sun, unte Keltra number one. पहली नजर में हो गया मैं दीवाना 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 इतना सुंदर जैसे कोई सपना सुहाना मैं दीवाना दीवाना
कचारिया टाइम्स, जो देखे वो दीवाना।
Welcome back to K News and thank you for watching. Let's continue the streak of news. The Home Ministry has issued new guidelines for international air passengers coming to India. The new guidelines supersede the one issued on May 24th. Air India tweeted, "The new guidelines are applicable from August 8. The aviation regulator DGCA has extended the ban on scheduled international flights to and from the country till August 31. Earlier overseas flights were suspended till July 31. The restriction does not apply to international or all cargo operations and flights specifically approved by the Directorate General of Civil Aviation. All travelers should submit self-declaration form on the website newdelhiairport.in at least 72 hours before travel. They should give an undertaking on the website that they would undergo mandatory quarantine for 14 days, that is 7 days paid institutional quarantine at their own cost, followed by 7 days isolation at home with self-monitoring. Travelers may also seek exemption from institutional quarantine by submitting a negative RT-PCR test report on arrival. The note by the Home Ministry also said that developed their own protocol on quarantine and isolation as per their assessment after passengers arrive. Meanwhile, the center has given mass fever screening system to Hyderabad International Airport in an attempt to enhance the efficacy of the screening process. The new thermal scanner is capable of screening, detecting and tracking febrile persons with elevated skin temperature. The system automatically adjusts and adapts to the surrounding ambient temperature without any human intervention, the airport said in a statement. With its intuitive user interface and dual displays that have day camera and an infrared one, the scanner provides easy identification of passengers with elevated temperature while simplifying operations and minimize handling. Chennai-based engineer Shanmuga Subramanian, who was credited by NASA last year for spotting the debris on the lander of Chandrayaan-2, has come up with a new find. The 33-year-old techie has claimed to have spotted Chandrayaan-2's rover Pragyan, which seemed to be intact on the moon's surface. In a series of tweets, along with a picture taken by NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbital, Mr. Subramanian claimed that the rover had rolled out a few meters from the skeleton Vikram lander. The space enthusiast also said that the lander may have received the commands sent to it from Earth and also might have relayed it to the rover. However, it may have failed to communicate back to Earth. Indian Space Research Organization had lost contact with the lander Vikram following its launch from Chandrayaan-2 moon orbiter on September 6 when it tried to make soft landing near the moon's south pole. Mr. Subramanian has also mailed ISRO about his latest find, a screenshot of which he shared on Twitter. Veteran BJP leaders L.K. Advani and Murli Manohar Joshi will not visit Ayodhya for the groundbreaking ceremony for building of a temple there. The two leaders will instead attend the August 5 event via video conferencing, sources told. Both the leaders were invited via phone calls on Saturday by the trust set up to oversee the construction. An invitation is also being sent to the two senior leaders by the General Secretary of the Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra Trust, which was set up by the Supreme Court after its landmark verdict in November last year. Former Union Minister Uma Bharti, who also recorded a statement, has declared that the judgment in the hugely contentious case did not matter to her. Grand preparations have been made for the August 5 ceremony, which will revolve around the installation of a 40-kilogram silver brick as the foundation stone. This will be set by the Prime Minister. The guest list has been trimmed to around 50 VIPs because of restrictions on travel and gatherings during the coronavirus outbreak, the trust has said. Former Union Minister Uma Bharti and former Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Kalyan Singh, who told he had no regrets over the events of December 6, 1992, when the Babri Mosque was destroyed, have been invited. Top leaders of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, including its chief Mohan Bhagwat and General Secretary Suresh Bhaiyaji Joshi, are also being invited for the event, along with VHP's working president Alok Kumar, a trustee of the temple, said. The Ministry of Home Affairs has informed the department-related standing committee of Parliament that it needs 3 more months to frame the rules of the Citizenship Amendment Act passed by Parliament in December, officials familiar with the developments said. According to the Manual on Parliamentary Work, rules for legislations should be framed within 6 months of the date of the President's assent or the Standing Committee on Subordinate Legislation should be approached for extension of time. The amended act aims to grant Indian citizenship to 6 minorities: Hindus, Sikhs, Jains, Buddhists, Christians and Parsis from Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh, who have faced or fled fearing religious persecution. The law, which excludes Muslims, will be applicable to those who entered India before December 2014. A senior officer said that the additional time has been sought to frame the rules as the ministry was busy in other work for the past several months. The rules will be framed soon. The Manual on Parliamentary Work states that in case the ministries or departments are not able to frame the rules within the prescribed period of 6 months, they should seek extension of time from the Committee on Subordinate Legislation, stating reasons for such extension, which cannot be more than a period of 3 months at a time. The government has claimed that while the rules are being framed, the non-Muslim refugees from Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan will have to provide proofs of their religious beliefs while applying for citizenship. The NIA probe into Kerala gold smuggling case has unearthed involvement of more people, leading to 6 more arrests in the past 3 days in the sensational matter. NIA also claims to have collected evidence in 6 raids carried out at places associated with the accused. First 2 of these new arrests were made on July 30, 2020, when the NIA arrested Jalal AM, a resident of Ernakulam district, and Said Alvi from Malappuram district. They were arrested on charges of allegedly conspiring with already arrested accused Ramesh Keti and for smuggling gold through diplomatic baggage addressed to the UAE consulate at Thiruvananthapuram. On 31st July 2020, 2 more accused, namely Muhammad Shafi and Abdu Piti, both residents of Malappuram district, were arrested for playing similar roles in the crime. A day later, on August 1, NIA arrested Muhammad Ali Ibrahim and Muhammad Ali, both residents of Ernakulam district of Kerala. The investigating agency also claimed that Muhammad Ali, son of Abdul Qadir, is a member of the controversial organization Popular Front of India, suspected of involvement in anti-national activities. and was earlier charge-sheeted by Kerala police in Professor's palm chopping case, but got acquitted after trial in 2015. This case is the first instance of NIA created to probe anti-terror cases and those concerning national security, probing a gold smuggling case. Fears have been expressed that this case could be linked to a wider network of terror financing and hawala operations, and could also be part of sinister designs to destabilize the Indian economy. Kerala Chief Minister's close aide and a top bureaucrat is also being questioned in the case, and the opposition has alleged that the Chief Minister was aware of his former Principal Secretary's activities. NIA has arrested 10 accused in the case so far. A BSF constable and 2 others have been arrested in a cross-border smuggling racket of drugs and weapons, the Punjab police said on Sunday. A 30-bore made-in-China pistol along with 5 cartridges and rupees 24.5 lakh were recovered from the 3 accused. Identified as Border Security Force Constable Rajendra Prasad and 2 locals, Surmil Singh and Gurjant Singh, said Director General of Police Dinkar Gupta. The BSF constable, a resident of Ganganagar district of Rajasthan, was posted at a border outpost at China village in Taran district. Mr. Prasad is the second BSF constable arrested recently by the Punjab police in a cross-border smuggling racket. The police had arrested another BSF constable Sumit Kumar, posted at Samba in Jammu and Kashmir in another cross-border smuggling case. Giving details of the operation, Gupta said acting on a tip-off, a Jalandhar rural police team had on July 26 apprehended 2 smugglers who were coming in a car from Delhi. The cops had recovered 25 grams of heroin from them. On questioning, the duo identified themselves as Surmil Singh and Gurjant Singh. Surmil's further questioning led to the recovery of the pistol along with 5 live rounds. During questioning, the duo had also revealed that they were working with a cross-border smuggler, Satnam Singh alias Satta, a resident of Taran district. Satta was closely linked with Pakistan-based smugglers in smuggling heroin and weapons from Pakistan. They also disclosed that BSF constable Rajendra Prasad was also involved in the smuggling racket. The DGP said he contacted his counterparts in the BSF and Rajasthan for the arrest of the BSF constable. He was apprehended by the Punjab police on July 28 from his residence in Rawala Mandi, where he was availing his leave, said the DGP in a statement in Chandigarh. That's all for now. Keep watching K News. This is Hardik Trivedi taking your leave. Be alert, be positive, be safe.